Have you ever tried planning a dinner with 3 friends, and it took 4 hours of arguing just to end up ordering subpar tacos? Now imagine doing that, but instead of 3 friends, it's 300 million people, and instead of tacos, you're deciding on taxes, roads, and whether it should be illegal to put pineapples on pizza. That is why humanity invented prime ministers and presidents. We basically look at a crowd of people, point to one brave or possibly delusional soul, and say, "Congratulations, you are now in charge of this giant, chaotic daycare center." In this video, we're going to break down why we actually make people leaders and why anyone in their right mind would want a job where half the population is constantly yelling at them. The first big reason we have leaders is to solve the ultimate decision paralysis. If every single citizen had to vote on every single pothole, nothing would ever get done. So, we elect one person to make the big calls. It's like appointing a designated driver for the entire country, except the car is a giant nuclear-armed economy, and everyone in the back seat is throwing French fries at the driver's head. We'd still be debating the budget of 1792. Without that one decider, we'd just be a giant group chat that never ends. And let's be honest, nobody wants that. Now, how we choose these leaders splits the world into two main flavors: presidents and prime ministers. A president is like the main character of a movie elected directly by the public, operating in a completely separate office. A prime minister, on the other hand, is like the leader of the popular kids' table in high school. They are chosen by the ruling party in parliament. If parliament gets tired of them, they can kick them out with a vote of no confidence faster than you can cancel a gym membership. It's a high-stakes popularity contest where the prize is a historic mansion and a lifetime of gray hair. Another major duty is acting as the national mascot. Leaders are the face of the country, meaning they have to fly around the globe, shake hands with other leaders, and look photogenic. They have to eat extremely weird local delicacies while smiling for the cameras. If the president gets jet-lagged and accidentally falls asleep during a peace summit, it could cause a diplomatic incident. It is like being the spokesperson for a massive company. Except if you mess up your speech, you don't just get fired, you might accidentally start a trade war over imported cheeses. Let's talk about the power to say no, also known as the veto. When lawmakers spend months writing a massive, 1,000-page bill that regulates everything from clean energy to the size of toilet paper rolls, the leader can just look at it and write a big, fat nope right on the front page. It's the ultimate political mic drop. It's like working on a massive group project for school, and then the teacher lets one kid delete the whole Google Doc because they didn't like the font. It's a lot of power for someone who still has to ask permission to block traffic for their motorcade. One of the most serious reasons we have a president or prime minister is to have a civilian in charge of the military. If generals ran the military without any civilian oversight, they might get a bit too excited about testing their shiny new tanks. So, we give the ultimate launch codes and military command to a civilian leader in a suit. It is like hiring a babysitter who doesn't actually play video games, but gets to decide when the kids are allowed to turn on the console. It keeps the generals in check and ensures the military works for the people, not the other way around. Let's be completely honest. We also need leaders so we have a single, convenient person to blame when things go wrong. If the economy takes a dip, or gas prices go up, or it rains on your outdoor wedding, it's always the leader's fault. We love having a therapeutic scapegoat. It's like having a designated roommate whose sole job is to take the blame when the milk goes bad or the Wi-Fi drops. They get the fancy title and the security detail, but in return, they have to accept that millions of people will blame them for things they have absolutely no control over. Running a country is way too much work for just one brain, which is why leaders get to assemble their own supergroup called the cabinet. These are secretaries and ministers in charge of specific departments, like defense, education, or finance. It's like picking your ultimate fantasy football team, but instead of winning a plastic trophy, they manage the entire national budget. If the Secretary of Treasury forgets how math works, the whole country's economy takes a nosedive. It's the ultimate group project, and yes, there is always at least one cabinet member doing 90% of the actual work. When disaster strikes, you cannot wait for a 500-person parliament to debate and form a committee. If there's an emergency, you need one person who can make instant decisions. That's why leaders have emergency powers. They can deploy resources, call in National Guards, or address the nation to keep everyone calm. It's like when a pipe bursts in your house. You don't call a neighborhood meeting, you just point to someone and yell, "Go turn off the main water valve." It's stressful, exhausting, and leaves no room for hesitation. Besides all the serious policy stuff, leaders also have to perform some of the weirdest cultural rituals known to humanity. For example, the President of the United States annually pardons a turkey, saving it from becoming Thanksgiving dinner. They also light national trees, throw out ceremonial first pitches at baseball games, and kiss babies during campaigns. Imagine having the power to launch missiles, but your afternoon schedule involves arguing with a giant bird in front of global news cameras. Finally, we have term limits because history has shown that if you let someone stay in power for too long, they start thinking the national palace is their permanent living room. Term limits ensure that no matter how much a leader loves their job, they eventually have to pack up their mugs and let someone else take the wheel. It's like a subscription service where you're forced to cancel after a few years just to see if there's a better show on another channel. It keeps the democracy fresh and prevents anyone from getting too comfortable on the throne. So, there you have it. We make people prime ministers and presidents because running a country requires a decision maker, a national representative, and a professional blame taker. It's a job with great housing, a cool plane, and zero peace of mind. Next time you see a leader on television looking tired and gray-haired, remember, they signed up for the ultimate chaotic group project. Thanks for watching, and if you ever run for office, promise us you'll make pineapple pizza illegal. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and vote for your favorite Stickman in the comments.